And I'm live. I just gotta do this daggone thing with my phone like I always do. Do this daggone thing with my All right. I'm starting to get a little bit better at this, guys. At least trying to. Hi, Jason. Welcome, sweetie. Okay. So I'm pretty sure some people will start coming in the interim. I like to get started right away because this does stream on well, now Facebook, but also on YouTube. And I know people just like for, people who are doing videos to get right into it. So that's what we're gonna do. So guys, welcome to Intuitive Vibes Narc Survival 101. It's your girl Erica here. If you are new to the channel, please stick around. You might hear something that you need to know, maybe pertaining to a situation that you have going on. And of course, if you like today's session, check out our other sessions that we do every other week. And of course, check out the rest of my content. If you find it to be helpful or resourceful in any kind of way, then hit the subscribe button so that way you're notified each time I put up a video. Actually, Amanda gave me a good point. She explained to me, it's good to tell you to hit the subscribe button, but also hit your notification, hit the notification bell so that way you're notified every time a video is put up. So, it might be a video that's going on, a video that's presenting your situation. Okay, whatever that situation might be. Guys, Narc Survival 101 is not only with romantic relationships, so please, let's keep this in mind. A lot of the time I notice there are a lot of people who go through narcissistic abuse in romantic relationships, but Narc Survival does also pertain to family. Okay, it pertains, hey Amanda, it pertains to family as well. All right, and we're gonna actually start talking more about that as well. So we're gonna kind of like go back and forth in between the two because believe it, well, let's face facts on something here. If you dealt with a narcissist, the majority of the time is because they have family members that are narcissists in their environment. So we have to talk about that because narcissism comes from somewhere, okay? And most of the time it comes out of that person or those people's family. So we definitely got to start talking more about that as well. But guys, I hope you guys had a great weekend. Oh my gosh, I'm thinking today's Tuesday, it's Friday. Hope you guys had a great week. We have gotten hit with snow like quite a few times in the past like 2 weeks. And I know Texas got hit pretty bad too. My brother lives out there, thank God he's okay. But yeah, a lot of different states have gotten hit really, really bad with snow. And I'm just so over it. I'm so done with it. Let spring just hurry up and get here because I can't deal with it anymore. But I hope you guys all had a great week. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope, TGIF, it's Friday. So hopefully your weekend will be, if you didn't have a great week, your weekend will be better. But let's just get into it, guys. So some of the things that I wanted to talk about. Now, bear this in mind. I know that I've done videos on these things, but I think it's a good way during live chats. It's a good way to be able to give a healthy reminder about certain situations and not only that, because there are different people that do enter, that do sit around for a little bit just to hear what's going on. They need to know what's happening. And you do have people that just, if they don't have time to go to the videos, they can they can just pretty much check it out when we're doing live sessions. So it does bear repeating when you're dealing with narcissism and abuse, domestic abuse, manipulation, all things to that effect. It does bear repeating because unfortunately there are people who do go back regardless of the situation. So let's just keep that in mind. Now, some of the things that I wanted to talk about. The first thing I wanted to talk about was triangulation. Triangulation, it's been used a lot when people are talking about narcissism, talking about narcissists. It's used a lot, and sometimes people understand it, sometimes people don't. So basically what triangulation is well, what do you get out of the word triangulation? You get triangle, right? Triangulation is when a manipulator is using a third party to try to get a reaction out of their target or, case in point, their victim. Now, if this is a family setting, for example, triangulation is basically where one family member uses another family member to get a very reactive reaction from a third family member. So if you're dealing with a narcissist in your family, and we'll say, for example, your mom is a narcissist, okay, and you are your mother's target, she's targeting you for whatever her reasons are. She's going to utilize triangulation to pretty much get you to react to a situation. So your mom may go to, let's say, your sister. She may go to your sister and she may say certain things that, pretty much involve you. She may put certain things in your sister's head, circulating around you, as to where she knows that your sister is going to come to you and tell you the things that your mom has told her. Now, your mom is saying it to your sister with a sense of concern. I'm the mother, I'm just concerned. Your mom has made it, what's the word for it? Your mom has given the impression to your sister that you have problems, you have mental issues, you have, whatever the case may be. Your mom is pretty much filling up your sister's head with fabrication and things about you, because she won't directly come to you. So she's going to utilize another family member. So she's going to your sister, telling your sister things about you. She knows that your sister is going to go to you and tell you, listen, mom's concerned about X, Y, and Z. She's saying, these things and so forth and so on. Naturally, if what she's telling your sister, is not true, is nowhere near realistic, what you're going to do is you're going to react. Okay. The majority of times when it comes to us human beings, we are human, we react. Okay. That's like our instinctual, like our first thing that we do. We react to situations. We don't really stop to say, okay, let me respond for a second, or let me think about this, and then I'm going to respond. When you feel like someone is pretty much trying to throw dirt on your name or trying to do something to, to harm your character, especially with other people, especially in your family, you're going to react. So with you reacting, then your mom is pretty much filled up your sister's head, probably other people in the family as well, filled up their heads with all kinds of stuff about you. Now you're reacting because clear as day what your mom is saying is bullshit. Like, this is nonsense. What are you talking about? So with you reacting, everything that your mother filled their heads up with is pretty much manifesting. So it's pretty much showing your family members, your mom has a point. You have a temper. Are you mentally ill, and so forth and so on. These are the things that narcissists in a family, these are the things that they do to kind of get the family to look at you like, you see, what did I tell you? You see, this is what's going on. And whatever the reason may be, guys, it could be that you didn't want to fill your mother's ego up. It could be that you didn't want to comply with your mother. If she is a narcissist, you didn't comply with her. You didn't side with her. You didn't do anything to be on that list of, be it if it's flying monkeys, if it's enablers, what have you. If a narcissist feels threatened, whether in your family, relationship, or friendships, if they feel threatened by you, if they feel threatened by the truth that you sit with, if they feel threatened by just you as a person, they are going to run certain types of tactics to try to break you down and utilize other people to help them do that. That is what triangulation is. Tracker, yes, you're talking about my life. My mom did exactly the same. Yeah, they do that. They do that. They try to get other people to go against you. They try to make you seem as if you are mentally unstable, you're unfit, you are just, you're crazy, because listen, narcissist mothers gaslight their children, guys. They gaslight them. They will, no, I didn't say that. What are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about. It's not just boyfriend, girlfriends. It's not just coworkers. It's not just friends. You got parents who do this as well. Okay? They do this as well. They gaslight their children. They abuse their children. And I'm not just talking, listen, everybody thinks abuse, boom. Oh, they're hitting their kids. No, abuse can be physical, emotional, mental, and in most cases, spiritual. It could be any of those things. So that form of triangulation, that's what goes on within a family dynamic. Now, Triangulation, it's the same thing in romantic dynamics. Let me use a good example. Okay, so you and the person, if they are a narcissist or if they're extremely narcissistic, or if they're just a manipulator, you went through the discard phase, okay? Or you're going through the discard phase. And that person is in the midst of when when you're in a relationship, they give you a mix of everything. Okay. They give you the silent treatment, they give you the gaslighting, they stonewall you, they do all of that. But they are highly known to triangulate. All right. So what they would do is they would basically, in the midst of giving you silent treatment, pushing you away, making you feel like you're inadequate, making you feel like they just reduced you down to nothing. Their form of triangulation is making you jealous. I've explained this to you guys in other chats. That triangulation is making you jealous. So what do? They entertain other people. They're open with that. They're open with, I'm not talking to you, I'm not dealing with you, but you can see me, because let's face facts, guys, when you go through a discard, or if anyone has gone through a discard, the one thing that you have gone through was that addiction stage. That's a point of where it's borderline kind of obsession, but you are in that stage because you have no clarity. They've given you no closure. They pretty much just strung you along until, they could do it no more. Until it's basically, because, to a narcissist, as sadistic as it is, their thing is making other people miserable makes them happy. Making other people upset or feel like, breaking other people brings them some form of a powerful boost to their ego. So when you were in the discard phase, you were severely boosting their ego. You were severely, I love you. What's going on? Let's make this work. I'm sorry. I can change. What do I need to do? You're sitting there, you internalizing everything that they threw at you. You just took everything that they're doing, their behaviors, because they don't take accountability for their behaviors. You took everything that they have projected onto you and you internalized it, and you blamed yourself for the reason why they're doing the things they're doing. Not only, but you didn't do this on your own. You didn't only do this on your own. They've managed to make you feel, not only make you feel, but they've managed to flat out tell you, well, look at how you're acting. Look at what you're saying. Listen to what you're saying. Look at what you're doing. And then you wonder why I'm doing what I'm doing. Then you wonder why I feel the way I feel. That is bullshit, guys. That is deflection. Okay? Deflection. Pretty much when a light hits a mirror and it goes towards the wall, that's deflection. And because they've put this in your head and they made you feel like you're the reason why nothing is working out. You're the reason why they're so miserable. You're the reason why they don't even want to be with you. They don't want to be around you, because they give you that feeling of like, I don't know if you guys have ever felt it, but during my discard, I did. It's like that feeling of disgust, like, just get away from me. But it was like hot and cold, because it was like, stay away from me 1 minute, but then I'm texting you the next minute, or no, I don't want to be with you. I don't want to be, but yeah, maybe I miss you. It was a lot of bullshit. It was a lot of bullshit. When that veil came on for me, guys, it was like, yo, my hurt and my pain and my emotions went to straight anger. It went to straight anger. It went to, I'm not doing this with you. I see what you're doing. But back to triangulation. Triangulation is when they're using other people to make you jealous. So if you were in the midst of trying to find out what's going on with them, why is this happening? Why are you doing this? They're not giving you clarity. They're just gaslighting you. They're giving you the silent treatment. They're doing all of this to you. Yet you see them online talking to other people. You see them mingling back with their ex. You see them talking to, whether it's the same sex or opposite sex, they're talking to just random people, or random people are giving them a full amount of attention. And sometimes the person that you're dealing with, they're not even dealing with these people, but it's because of the fact that they are putting themselves out there and people are giving them attention. They know that you see that. They know that you see that. And they're giving you that impression. It's like, it's kind of like it's giving you that impression like, wait, these people are saying all these things. These people are just commenting and doing all that. I know you're talking to somebody. I know but you're not talking to me. You're ignoring me. You're phasing me out. And I've been with you, I don't know how long you guys have been with your narcissist. I've been with you, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. And all of a sudden you're just phasing me out like I'm nothing. And everybody that you told me not to worry about, that you told me was nothing to you, is getting your attention. They do that to get a reaction out of you, because naturally, what are you going to do when they do the stupid bullshit? Because that's exactly what it is. When they do that, whether it be online, whether it be out in the open, in the public, whatever the case may be, when they do that, it's to get a reaction from you. So when you do react, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you have, when you do react, they can flip it around. Because remember, they're giving you the silent treatment, guys. So just listen to this very carefully. If they're giving you the silent treatment, but yet you're reacting to what they're doing, it's because you're the only one who can see what it is they're doing. Everybody else is under the impression that you are the one who is mentally unstable. You are the one who is stalking them. You are the one who is obsessed with them. You are the one who is mad that they don't want to be with you. So everybody else is under the impression that this person ended things with you on a sweet, even keel, that it just didn't work out. Or, my ex was just so jealous and so insecure and I couldn't deal with it. Meantime, they're not telling these people what they were doing during the time of your relationship. So these people are already looking at their false mask. They're looking at that person like, okay, well, you're just getting on with your life. You're just moving on and you're just, doing hi, Magnificent. Hi, Steven. I'm sorry, guys. I'm like just getting so caught up into it. And I'm like, I forgot that I'm getting comments too. Okay, let me read some comments, guys. Awake. Yeah, my ex-narc would sometimes go back to bad habits like over drinking. She would then look me dead in the face and say, this is because of you. She knew my hero complex and hated hearing that. And that's because she knew that you were a good person. People who have a hero complex, people who are empaths. And by the way, guys, I am an empath, and I do actually in my Instagram name, I use the term empath. But let me explain something, because a lot of people tend to think, well, someone says that they're an empath, it means like, I don't know, like cotton candy and bubble gum and ice cream and all that, like, that soft stuff. No. That's not what an empath is. An empath is just simply someone who's a very feeling person. We can feel your energy. We can feel, your spirit. That's what we can feel. We can tell when something is wrong, even when you tell us something isn't wrong. We can feel these things. We basically feel everything that's around us because we are so, like, I guess you could say in a sense vulnerable, but we are people that have just such big hearts that we feel for other people just as much as we feel other people. Okay. But let's not mistake the term empath with, oh, she's this, hey, like I'm twirling my hair and I'm popping bubble gum and I'm a sweet little girl. No, I could be a bitch if I need to be. And trust me, you don't want to piss an empath off, especially when they have been extremely loyal to you, because as sweet and caring and as feeling as they are, they're equally merciless, which means that we can do a lot of damage, extreme damage. A narcissist compared to an empath that is extremely beyond pissed off and beyond like enraged is nothing. Okay, is nothing. They are a little guppy fish compared to our white shark. They would not be able to handle it, because a narcissist is simply someone who walks with a false ego. Like they have this inflated, it's just so inflated within, because you know why? They feed off of other people. They feed off of other people. Narcissistic people and narcissists, I look at them as bottom feeders. They pretty much just eat what they can. They're energy vampires. They take what they can out of people. But they walk with this, I don't know, like this arrogance, this just really inflated, arrogant attitude and sense of self-worth. Those are the extroverted ones. The introverted ones are the ones that can be arrogant, extremely arrogant, but they are very covert. They're very, very covert, where it's just like as soon as they walk out their door, they could flip it. They could just flip the switch and be a completely different person. You know, those are the types, like the covert ones are the types that are one way with certain people, be it if it's family, they're, you know, in the relationship, the people who know them the closest, but they're another way when they're around friends, external people, you know, people who don't know their home lifestyle, who don't know what kind of person they truly are behind closed doors. So, you know, just keep in mind that when it boils down to these types of people, their egos are very extremely fragile. That's why a lot of them fear being exposed, and a lot of them fear like having their, you know, having their name out there, which is why I listen, as much as I talk about what it is I talk about, I refrain from giving, you know, like putting names or whatever the case may be, because at the end of the day, I'm just here to explain my experience, but I'm not going to slander someone. And I'm not going to sit here and say, you know, Billy Bob Joe, my ex, is a piece of crap. No, I'm not doing that, because at the end, he already knows what he did. I know what he did. He can walk. See, he's the one who has to walk around worried about what people think of him. I don't. I don't. I sit here as a survivor saying, you know what? I went through it. I went through it. You put me through it. If you want to sit here and tell the entire world that that's not the case, that's perfectly fine, because the only person I need to worry about is God. He's the one who's going to give you your karma, not me. So you can continue walking around town if you want, telling people what you want to tell them. I don't care. People like us, we do not care what people think. We really don't. I don't. I personally do not. If I want to, you know, I listen, look at my hair. Like, come on, seriously? Do I look like somebody who cares what people think? I don't. So when it boils down to narcissists, they care too much what everybody else thinks. They sit there posing for the world. They pose for people. They act as, they don't act themselves. They act like a completely different individual. You know, that's unfortunately, that's just how they are. Stephen, my discard was the worst thing I've ever been through. It felt like I was drowning and the narc was just adding weight to make me sink deeper. Yeah. You know what? Narcissists, when they're in that rage, that narcissistic rage, because what they're doing is, you know, they're pretty much, it's kind of like a trigger moment. You know, if you have PTSD and you have had triggers, I'm sure all of us, I've had quite a few. I'm sure all of us have had triggers. Um, that's kind of like a moment for them. You know, it's a moment for them. They're, I wish I could clearly and easily explain their mind, but because every narcissist is different, their mind, you know, there are different components within their brains that completely, that act completely different. And because you don't have, you know, it's like you can't categorize, you can't just like put every narcissist under one category. You have so many different types, you got so many different flavors, you know, and not every narcissist, people tend to think that, like, you know, depending on the type of narcissist you have dealt with, you have narcissists that come off just as, you know, I'm a regular person, I'm a cool, humble person, I'm just chilled, I'm laid back, you know. And a lot of the time it's because they are, you know, and even the ones that are extroverted, guys, the ones that are like, you know, yeah, I'm a sweet girl, and it starts off the same in a sense, but it goes in completely different directions when you're dealing with different narcissists. So they may come off as, in the beginning, cool, sweet, humble, you know, laid back, very, just the kind of person that you can vibe with. And that's because everyone knows, when you get into the dating scene, everyone knows what to do in the beginning. How many times have you went on different dates? How many times have you dated, different types of people? And if you notice in the beginning, it's always like that. Not, I mean, well, depending on the, because sometimes people go on a first date and it can be really bad and they don't, end up with each other. But when you see yourself becoming more and more like, okay, I'm really liking this person, their personality seems to fit, they seem to match, what you have to understand about narcissists, they're very studious. They study you. They study you. They study your mannerisms. They study how you speak. They study they pay close attention to the things that you like. You take this as them being genuinely interested in you, which, for genuine people, they're copying off of us, basically. So if you're a genuine person, they are copying you. You're taking this as, oh, well, I'm being a genuine person to you. This is my personality. This is who I am. And they are mirroring that back to you. So you're taking that as, oh, you're really a cool person. I think I might have found my match. I think I might have found my soulmate. Because that's what they do. They get you basically to a point where you are like, it's like hook, line, and sinker. You know what I'm saying? They hook you in. They mirror you. So, okay, well, you know what? He likes baseball. Well, yeah, you know what? I'm a Yankees fan. I'm a Mets fan. Or he likes basketball. All of a sudden, she's a basketball fan. He likes, it could be anything, guys, anything. But when you're dealing with them in the beginning stage, which is the most crucial stage, guys, dealing with someone in the beginning is the most crucial stage. And the reason I say that is because if you pay close enough attention, those red flags, though it goes by kind of fast, because they're going to make sure in the beginning not to show you who they are. But sometimes it creeps through. It really does. Those red flags will present itself to you. But when you're dealing with them, you weren't paying attention to that because you weren't looking for that. You weren't looking for the possibilities. You didn't even know what a narcissist was until after you went through the ordeal. Some people may have heard of, so narcissistic, but a lot of people didn't know like the backstory of narcissism. They didn't know the backstory of sociopathy and psychopathy and Machiavellianism. They didn't know any of that. They just basically were like, certain things, I don't know, I'm gonna keep my eye on it, or whatever the case may be, and kind of brush it under the rug. You just kind of like thought, oh, well, maybe that's just her personality. Oh, she's got a strong personality. Oh, well, he's had a rough, life, or he's had rough relationships, and I just want to kind of, show him that, I know he's a bit defensive, but I'm a good person. Let me show him. And what you thought was everything that they were projecting. Because then after a while, that honeymoon phase, that putting you on the pedestal, that, oh, I can't wait to see you. Oh, I miss you. Oh, I love you. All that, And I call it bullshit, guys, because all that was love bombing, okay? All of that bullshit that they were doing was to get you in. It was to get you to accept them. But you weren't accepting the real them. You were accepting the representative that they gave you. You were accepting something that they thought you wanted to see and what you wanted to feel. Hi, Alicia. Hi, sweetie. But yeah, they did all of this to pretty much get you in. And that's part of the reason why, guys, I think you find it so hard. Like, because after, like, I would say, I don't usually give things time frames. But I'd say anywhere between like 6 months to a year, if you've already been like in deep, some of the things you overlook, you would find yourself overlooking things that you normally wouldn't have overlooked with someone else for some reason. It's like that. I don't know what it is about you, but there are certain things that I'm not too sure, but I'm just gonna kind of let that slide to the side. You let them get away with shit that you would never have let anybody else get away with. That was the biggest red flag that I think a lot of us had. But, little did anyone know that you were dealing with someone who has some serious baggage, some serious trauma, some serious issues. Like just on a scale of 1 to 10, they were like a 25. That's how serious it was. And because they looked at you as their way out, they looked at you as their outlet. They saw you as you're kind, you're generous, you are a people pleaser, you are a person who loves love, you are the perfect fucking specimen. That's exactly how they looked at you. So after they studied you, after they learned everything about you, after they, said, okay, this is the person, what happens? Everything else pretty much happened throughout your relationship, and it's really sad, and it's crazy to say. And I'm not saying, ladies, I'm not saying that men did not put you through the ringer. I'm not saying that. But for those who have dealt with female narcissists, I strongly, on behalf of the on the behalf of the female species, we're not all like that. We're not all like that. I have spent years trying to convince my ex that I'm not like that. And it did not matter. It did not matter. I spent so much time trying to convince him that I'm not, I'm not what it is that he's used to. But I don't know. Maybe it's the PTSD. Maybe it's the, the narcissistic traits. Maybe it's the paranoia. Maybe it's the, it's something. But just so you know, we're not all like that. It's just unfortunate that you've dealt with people that are clearly have problems. They have a lot of issues. And until they clear that within themselves, it would have never gotten better anyway. It never would have gotten better anyway. Now, the narcissistic rage. Narcissistic rage is like that lashing out, that cursing. It's just like seeing a side of them you have never seen before. You've never seen a side before. Like, you've seen them get angry. You've seen them get angry. You've seen them get kind of out of pocket, like, even disrespectful at times. Like, listen, chill the hell out. You know what I'm saying? But when it boils down to going through the discard phase, the narcissistic rage is, it's indescribable. It really is. You probably have seen it. You probably thought it was a psychotic episode, almost like veering psychosis, and everybody who's gone through the phase of narcissistic rage with a narc, or an extremely narcissistic person, or even a sociopath, everybody experiences it on different levels. But the narcissistic rage is pretty much their defense mechanism. It's kind of like in my video that I said, when the narcissist has to hurt you. It's their way of pushing you further away from them. Okay, that's their defense mechanism. And I'm not saying close your eyes to that. Don't fall asleep on that, and don't say, oh, well, it's just a little bit of narcissistic rage. No, they can get really volatile. They can get crazy, and they can do some damage if they're under that narcissistic rage. So that's something that, even though it's a defense mechanism and we're made aware of that, do not attempt to challenge them when they're in that mode, because they are in severe I don't give a shit mode. That's just the way they are. They do not care about the damage that they cause. At that precise moment, if you are dealing with someone who's a narc, or if you've dealt with, and for a fact, because I say dealing and dealt with, because those who have dealt with narcissists, if they ever try to hoover you back in, and of course, if you reject them, or if you decide to completely cut yourself free of them, knowing how narcissistic people can be, they can, we know what boat they ride on. They ride on the stalking boat. Okay, so even though you may not hear from them, you may get complete silence from them. They may not say 2 words to you, but rest assured, they are watching you. They are watching you. Even if they're with their new supply, they are watching you. Even if they come every so often to see what it is that's going on with you. A lot of the time, narcissists do this, especially narcissists that you've had multiple cycles with, okay? Because when you finally put your foot down and you say, I'm done, this is over, that in a way intrigues them. It intrigues them. It's like, wait a minute, you let me get away with all this shit how many times? And now all of a sudden you're done? No, I got to see what's going on. Or after the discard the first time, and you were just kind of like groveling, maybe, or, trying to, you were hurting, you were going through the motions, and you were trying to express to them, listen, you're hurting me, and you are putting me through the ringer, and I didn't do anything to deserve any of this, and I want to know what's going on. That's feeding them. So that attention is feeding them their fuel. With you doing that, they're under the impression they have full control. I got control of the situation. You are begging me. You are coming to me. Mind you, it doesn't even have to be on some, I want to work things out. It could just be on some, I just want some clarity. They're not going to give you that, because as long as they can continue getting attention from you, they're going to continue to not give you clarity. Guys, I just did a video yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Yeah. I did a video on why the narcissist doesn't give you closure, and plainly put, they don't give you closure because they didn't have any intention on losing you. They didn't have any intention on you going anywhere. They just wanted to kind of leave the door open. So if you've gone through a discard where they're like making you feel like shit 1 minute, and they're pushing you away, they're doing the whole nine yards with the discard phase, and then they're coming out of nowhere acting as if nothing happened, acting as if, listen, maybe they might apologize. Some of them, well, majority of them don't, and if they do apologize, keep in mind, guys, if a narcissist apologizes to you, it's because they want something. They want something. They have some kind of an agenda. They want something from you. So just take my word for it. Like, don't go back to that, man. Please don't go back to that. Okay. It's not worth it. But they do all of this because, they don't want to give you any clarity, because they don't want you to truly know the truth. They don't want you to really know what's going on. I mean, listen, I got offered a friendship. I got offered what am I supposed to do? Be friends with you like your ex? And be friends with you like this chick who you were talking to, and be friends with you like that? Nah. Erica doesn't do that. Erica does not play any part in anybody's harem. Okay. I don't do that. I have male friends, but that's it. I don't play part in being friends with exes, so that way they can come when they're done doing whatever bullshit it is they do and come and tug at my heartstrings. No contact, guys. Cutting them off. It just shows your self-love. It shows your self-love. It shows that you value, you respect yourself. They didn't respect you. They did not respect you at all. When they cheated on you, they did not respect you. When they were uttering nasty words to you, they were not respecting you. When they were silent treating you, they did not respect you. All of that was not respect. You do not do that to someone you respect. You do not do that to someone you love. And they thought that, well, you love me too much. You want to be with me. You care about me. You devoted your time and your life to me. Because if you were anything like me, guys, I was a codependent. Okay. Not everybody who is a codependent will be with a narcissist. You don't have to be a codependent. You could be, you could be a regular person who got maybe some issues. We all got issues, right? But you can be a regular person with not severe codependent issues and still date a narcissist. A narcissist can give a securely attached person PTSD, and they don't give a shit. They don't care. They're like, okay, well, I screwed you over. I stomped on your heart, and then I threw it out the window when I was done. And you're sitting there trying to pick up the pieces, and they're just sitting there looking at you like, that's how callous they are. That's how, they're just so vile and just so evil. And it's just so sad that people like this exist. It truly, truly is. Like, I can't, hi, relax, hi, sweetheart. I couldn't, being a sympathetic and empathetic person, I couldn't see myself be like this to people. I really couldn't. And I grew up being a codependent. I grew up being, emotionally, having emotional detachment projected onto me. And I still, to this day, I still can see myself being like that. But unfortunately, people who are narcissists are people who, rather than face their trauma, rather than face what was projected onto them that created them that way, they're just like, fuck it, this is what I live with. This is just the way it is. And they manage to destroy people on the way. They just destroy people. And it's like, they're like the Hitlers. I mean, that's the only way to describe them. Hitler was actually a narcissistic sociopath. So, I mean, come on. Come on. You can't get any more, you just can't get any more psychotic than that. So when it boils down to a narcissist, they don't care about you. They never did. If you dealt with a narcissist and your narcissistic ex is, constantly trying to, I mean, listen, and if you guys decided, I want to mention this, if you decided to, there are people who have fallen for this, okay? But if they decided to be friends with them, with their narcissistic ex, and just keep this in mind, please. If ever or whenever they decide to come back into your life, it's because, one, it could be a few reasons. One, the supply that they screwed you over for doesn't do it for them anymore. Two, they see you happy. They see you happy, and they're mad that they're not a part of that. So understand, if you manage to have your happiness after being discarded, okay? After discarding a narcissist, you have happiness, you have peace, you got quiet, you just got tranquility. You were not the problem. That's when you realize you were not the problem. And when you decide, okay, I'm done with this, I'm moving on, and you're going to be happy. You're going to go on with your life. You're going to go meet a new woman. You're going to go meet a new man. They cannot have that. They get so insanely jealous that, one, how dare you move on? And two, how dare you move on with someone else who can actually make you happy? And I got to sit here and be miserable, even when you're happy on your own and you're not even with them anymore. Their misery is still your fault. And you're sitting there like, wait a minute, bitch, I haven't spoken to you in 5 years. How the hell am I responsible for your misery? Because they don't take accountability. They will not take accountability. They will not say, I am the reason why I'm miserable. They'll sit there and say, Joe or Marie or whatever, you're the reason why I'm miserable. And what they'll do is they'll go around. You're living your own life. You're doing your own thing. You're having, you're enjoying your time with your new partner, and you're just doing whatever. And they will literally play the victim. They'll sit there and play the victim with their miserable asses and say, well, I never, how come I can never have happiness? I don't understand what the problem is, because they were never the problem. In their eyes, they were never the problem. Every partner they ever had was always the problem. Everybody else was the problem. They were just the ones that were like, I'm the innocent bystander. What are you talking about? But, this person was acting insecure with me and I couldn't deal with that. Maybe that's because you were too busy fucking going on dating websites and screwing around with other people behind my back. Huh? Maybe that's why I had insecurity issues. Or maybe it's because you sat there clear as day and made it seem like I'm the reason why we're not making love anymore. I'm the reason why we're not going places anymore. I'm the reason, I'm the problem. But you couldn't deal with the insecurities. I can't deal with the constant fighting, the constant bickering. Maybe that's because I'm sick and tired of you gaslighting me. Maybe that's because I got tired of you bullshitting me and manipulating me and trying to control me. Maybe that's because this relationship wasn't even a relationship. It was one-sided. I was in the relationship and you were the one acting single. Maybe that's because all of this shit happened and here we are now. Don't internalize that, guys. Don't internalize it. Stacy, please talk about narc mothers and their sons. Narc mothers and their sons. Whew, that's a big topic. But narc mothers and their sons, plainly put, a narc mother will, create. Mostly it's going to be 3 types. I've explained this in the video that I've done. Narcissist mothers and their sons of narcissist mothers. And they're pretty much going to create the type of men that are, one, are either their egos are overly inflated. And by this, they're treating that child as the golden child. So they're projecting onto that child the ideas of themselves. But these are ideas. These are not real attributes, real goals of the mother. They're projecting onto their son that they are prince, they're a king, and they're, you know, so forth and so on. They're the best person in the world. They're pretty much overinflating their son's ego, because that particular son is boosting up the mother's ego, is complying with the narcissist mother. So that son is doing everything that the mother wants them to do. So they have put the idea in their son's head that you are to basically walk around. This is layman's terms, guys. I've explained it a lot better in my other video. But you are to walk around like your shit doesn't stink, and you deserve nothing but the best, and you will do every and anything possible to get what it is you want. Okay? Narcissist mothers are queens of manipulating their children. They're queens of manipulating their children. Okay, they will, and mind you, they scapegoat, they golden child, they flip, the roles are flipped around. So, that golden child that was a golden child a week ago can be a scapegoat next week. It depends on the mother's mind frame and her attitude. Another child that she's going to create is, I call this child pretty much the scapegoat child, because scapegoats can be narcissists too. Okay, she projects onto that child the negative things about herself that she basically blames the child for. So she'll project onto that child, he's, let's just say, her and his father, are separated, whatever the case may be. She'll blame the child for her life not being in order. She'll blame the child for why the husband, either cheated on her or left her, whatever the case may be. She will put all of the blame on that child for why her life is going the way it's going. And if it's not going the way she wants, she's going to blame that child for every single failure, every single problems that she has. She's going to blame it onto that child. She's going to make that child feel very inadequate. She's going to make that child feel like he is not good enough, that he will never be good enough. And this is the type of child that probably will be more an inverted narcissist, because the extroverted one is the one that she's putting like he's the king of the world and he can have any and everything he wants and nobody can tell him shit about it. But the other child, the one that she's projecting, is she's basically just projecting all of the nastiness, all of the bad aspects of that household. She's projecting it onto that child, all while manipulating him to make him believe that he would be nothing without her, therefore creating a codependent relationship. This is why you have a lot of men who have unhealthy attachments with their mothers, unhealthy relationships, where you can clearly see that the mother she's not right, and you're standing on the outside looking in, but you can clearly see that the mother is not right. Something is just not right with that dynamic. Something is not right with that woman. And you can't understand. This is why a lot of men, codependent men, even inverted narcissists, end up dealing with extremely narcissistic women, because they are a reflection of their narcissistic mother. Okay. And as much as they resent, because these types of men, codependent and narcissists, they resent their mother, they end up with women that are just like them, because there's some form of familiarity. It's just like that. This feels familiar. It kind of reminds me of something, reminds me of home. Can't really put my finger on it. Well, your mommy's a narcissist, and quite frankly, you need to get the fuck out of it. That's my take on it. But this type of narcissist is the one that will probably be very verbally abusive. All narcissists are, but this type of narcissist will probably have like extreme verbal abuse, be constantly just an energy drainer, an energy vampire, because his mother has emasculated him so badly to the point that he had to pretty much, what she was supposed to do was give him that balance. A mother's supposed to give balance to their children, where you're giving them enough balance to maintain confidence, but don't overstep to where you become extremely egotistical. A narcissist mother does not do that. She's black or white. So she's either going to emasculate you or she's going to overly, she's just going to overly stroke your ego because you were, you know, being fully compliant with her and her needs and her wants. Okay. But this type of narcissist would probably end up being just like probably bored and malignant narcissist, you know, and very like very toxic, very unhealthy. And everything that his mother projected onto him, he will grow up, though he will be sexually and physically attracted to women, he will grow up despising them. He'll grow up despising women because a man who's been emasculated by a woman, nonetheless, throughout his life, though he will still, because a man's still a man, he will still feel attracted to women. He will despise them. And that's all because of his mother. I'm sorry, guys. I was just getting all into it. Alicia, yes, if you survive their abuse and go on with your life, they only come back to you so they can finish the job of destroying you. They can try. They can try. Remember what I said, Alicia. Leave no room for them. Leave no room for them. They want to live that toxic bullshit. They want to live that life of, you know, whatever the hell, that superficiality. And you listen, you thought the grass was greener. You thought that by, you know, dealing with these, you know, whether if it's a guy, you dealing with these females that'll probably, oh, I wish I could say it, but I'm live on Facebook too, because you guys already know my mouth. So I'm just gonna bring it down for a second. But if they want to deal with these types of people, leave them do it. Leave them to it. Leave them to it. They did you the favor. They did you the favor. They can try, but leave them no room. Nope. They want to come through the door. Nope. Lock the door. They want to come through the window. Nope. Window's locked. They want to come through the toilet. Flush them right the fuck back down. That's it. Do not give them any kind of room. Do not give them any kind of access into your life, because I guarantee you this much, guys. If you let them back in after the way they've treated you, after everything they've done, trust and believe when I tell you this, and mark my words, the discard will be a lot worse. It will be a lot worse, and it will be a lot more painful. So everything you went through that first time, it's going to be 10 times worse the second time around. Leave no room for them. Okay. They clearly have issues. And you know, it's interesting. I saw a post, and I was actually going to post it up, but this post was really good. And I actually want to read it. It's short. It's not anything crazy. I think I have it on this phone. I hope I have it on this phone. Let me see. And it's, oh crap. Don't have it on this phone, but the post pretty much said, I don't do apologies. I don't do apologies. You did what you wanted to do to make you happy at my expense. And I understand that, but I don't respect it. You understand? They did what they wanted to do because they wanted instant gratification, whatever that was. And they did it at your expense. So not only did they not respect you, not only did they mistreat you, not only did they, you know, lie to you, hurt you, and possibly told everybody and their mother that you were the problem, had you looking like a piece of crap, they're going to have the audacity to come back and be like, I'm sorry. Go fuck yourself. That's it. That's it. I don't know any other way to put it. I really don't. I really don't know any other way to put it. That's just the way it has to be, guys. That's the way it has to be. And I told you, I'd be more than glad to send you my picture so you can put it at your door every time you walk out that door and be like, okay, what's going to happen for today? And you look at my picture like, okay, yes, Eric, I remember. Keep your guard up. Keep your guard up. Keep it up, guys. Hamza, my father has invested a lot of money in skillful manipulators to torture me psychologically and keep me under his shoulder. And you know what? I when it boils down to narcissist fathers, you know, a lot of the time, they're like, the mothers are more mentally, they can destroy you. Mothers do that, and they do it over time. They destroy their children over time. The fathers are more known to being aggressive, you know, being extremely aggressive, where it's the same deal, you know, emotionally invalidating their kids and only really wanting to connect with them when they feel it's something that bears their interest. Because a lot of fathers, you have narcissistic fathers that do that. They only interact more with their kids when it involves certain activities or certain things that like circulate around their personal interests. And of course, if the child or children have like achievements and certain successes, they will take part in taking credit for it. But if the child, I don't like to say children fail, because it's I mean, you did your best, right? But if they're in their father's eyes, if the father feels that they're a failure or they failed at something, they it's kind of like, I'm ashamed of you. Like, there's some form of shame. Like, that's the narcissist father. Any other type of father who clearly has a very emotional and secure connection with their kids would be like, you know what, you did your best. I'm still proud of you. But a narcissist father will look at you like, you're not my daughter. You're not my son. You didn't get that from me. Because had you been more like me, you would have succeeded in that. A narcissist father can easily emasculate their children too, both male and female. And narcissist fathers play very, very big roles when it boils down to codependency, narcissism, be it if it's in their son or their daughter. It's their lack of interest in their kids, much like the mothers. This is why I say, guys, both parents have to equally balance these. You have to balance these energies out, so that way the children can get an equal amount. And when you have a narcissist mother or a narcissist father or both, it's a very rough environment to grow up. It's a very, very rough environment to grow up with. And especially if you have narcissist fathers who have codependent wives who are, enablers. They enable the abuse. So people who, grow up seeing that, that's considered normal. Like, throughout the years, that kind of behavior was normalized. It was normalized for the kids. And the kids, we don't make excuses, right? But because it was normalized, the kids feel that, well, mom put up with it. Dad was doing X, Y, and Z. He was cheating. He was hitting her. He was doing this. He was doing that. And mom stayed with it. So you know what? That must be normal. And these types of kids who grow up to be narcissists look at that, and sometimes they get away with it. This is the crazy thing about it. When they get away with it, this is why I encourage so many victims, speak up, man. Speak up. Speak your story. And you know what? It's not the matter of caring about what other people think. That's not, I don't give a shit what anybody thinks of me. But at the end of the day, I'm lucky. I am lucky because I managed to get out of it, and I managed to heal, and I had to do this on my own. I had to do it on my own. I mean, with the help of God, but I did it on my own. Not many people are lucky. Not many people can take the pain. And you have had people who have committed suicide as a result of it. So just keep that in mind, guys. Speak your stories. Don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid. Don't be, don't hide, because that's what they want you to do. They want you to be like, like just sitting in shame, because a lot of victims feel ashamed because they're saying to themselves, how could I have let this happen? Why did this happen? How could I let, anybody else would have, no, don't put that in your head, because nobody else would have known what to do. Nobody else would have known what to do. If you're dealing with a master manipulator, you think everybody else is that smart, and you're a pretty intelligent person. So you think other people would be that smart to say, oh, you're gaslighting me. Hell, I didn't even know what gaslighting was until I started going to therapy, until I started understanding what it was that I was dealing with. So don't blame yourself for it. Don't sit there and say, I went through this, but I can't talk about it. I can't speak on it. Of course you can. Of course you can. It's abuse. You were abused. You were verbally abused. You were emotionally abused. Some of you probably physically abused, and in some cases you have people who are sexually abused. Do not be afraid. Do not be ashamed. When you are ready, of course, talk about it. Speak your story, let it out. And you can imagine how much of a weight that would be lifted off of your shoulders, because they bank on you being ashamed. They bank on you feeling pity for yourself and sitting there and just crying in your corner saying, fuck love. I mean, listen, guys, I say fuck love, but I'm gonna tell you right now, not for the reasons you think. You understand? I'm more concerned about me. I put myself first now. Now I think about me. Erica thinks about Erica. And I'm not saying screw everybody else. The people who matter to me, the people who have been there for me, the people who support me will always be a priority for me. But everybody else, they're gonna have to wait in line until Erica is ready to say, okay, what do you need? Because at the end of the day, those people were not there for me when I was down and out, when I was sitting in my corner crying or about to climb to my roof and throw my nobody, they weren't there for me. So why the hell should I even feel? Let's put it this way, guys. And I don't encourage people being, mean and brutes or anything like that. I feel no sympathy for anybody who faces their karma. I feel no sympathy. You treated me like crap. I had nothing but the best intentions for you. And that's the kind of mentality you guys have to think with. You treated me like crap. I had the best intentions. I cared about you. I was loyal. I was loving. I was faithful. And I was here for you. Even when your so-called friends wouldn't even be here for you. Even when your so-called family, okay? I was here for you. When you had a problem, I was at the head of the line. Let's figure this problem out. When you had a financial issue, I was at the head of the line. What do you need? I got you. Not one of your friends did it. Not one of your family. And you gotta roll with that, guys, and say to yourself, and you went after all of this that I've done, and as humble as you can be, because you guys are humble. You don't have to sit there and you don't need credit from anybody. The only one you need credit from is God, because he knows where your heart is. But after all of this that I've contributed to you, and after all of this, I have fucking laid my self-worth on the line, which I'm still beating myself over the head because I did it. You expect me to have sympathy for you reaping what you've sown? No, that's not gonna happen. I feel no sympathy. I feel absolutely zero sympathy for people who treat other people like crap because they want instant gratification, because they thought they found better, because they thought the grass was greener, because they sat there and listened to people who they were trying to impress because they cared about what they thought, rather than having, rather than considering my own feelings when I was the most genuine person. And I can truthfully say that I was the most genuine person in that environment. You think I'm going to feel sympathy for you for reaping what you've sown? No, you're just lucky God didn't put that right in front of me for me to see it myself. Okay? I feel no sympathy for these people. I feel absolutely zero sympathy for them. Okay. And as much as I believe in God, and I love God and I fear him equally, I feel no sympathy, because that, what, if God is doing his will, let him do it. Let him do it. God's doing his will in your life. Is he not? Is he not giving you guys the strength to move on? Is he not giving you the courage to speak your story? Is he not giving you another chance to see your value and be happy and have peace? He's giving you that, right? Because that's what you've sown, because you have a genuine heart. See, people don't tend to really like law of attraction. I know people look at it like, yeah, it's a big fad or whatever. But you think about it this way, guys. You reap what you sow, you attract, like attracts like, right? If you plant genuine seeds in the ground, that will harvest. Wherever your heart is, that's what's going to come about. So if you are a loving person, and I've explained this before, if a narcissist comes into your life, it is something about yourself that needs to change. You attracted a narcissist based on your trauma. You attracted a narcissist based on certain flaws about yourself that just needed to be fixed, that needed to be corrected. That's it. You did not attract a narcissist because you deserve to be treated like shit. You did not attract a narcissist because you're a no good person and it just, no, you didn't attract them because of that. You attracted a narcissist because there is something that needed to be healed. Whatever that was, whatever that trauma was. My trauma was codependency. I have a thing on, but thank you. Sorry about that, guys. Amanda texted me. My trauma, it was codependency. My trauma was, being a people pleaser. It was constantly letting people walk all over me. It was constantly trying to, satisfy other people. It was constantly trying to just love because I always wanted just to have that genuine love. Being a caregiver, it's not a bad thing, but at the same time, it's too much. Too much of a good thing is bad. Because when you do all of this, you overlook red flags, you overlook manipulation, you overlook abuse, and it makes it worse and worse and worse over time. And you have to, I believe, all of us who face trauma, we need at least one encounter with people like this. We need it. Just one encounter with people like this, because that's something to trigger something within us. That's something to bring us to the full state that we're supposed to be in. And it's a hard lesson, guys. It is a truly hard lesson, and it's a painful one at that. But it's one that, God won't give you what he feels you can't handle. He won't give you what he feels you can't handle. You go through the motions, you get through it, move on with your life, but leave no room for re-entry, because what's going to happen is you are going to be tested. You will be tested. You learned everything. You did your healing. You went through all the work. Let me ask you something, guys. If you went and did all the work, you went to therapy, you did your healing, you cleaned out your space, you made your home your safe haven, peace is priority, right? Why would you go through all of that to let someone like that back in? There's no reason. There's no need for it. They served their purpose. You served your purpose. In this lifetime, you have served your purpose. You're good to go. Go run back to whatever other exes that chose to be friends with you. Clearly, they haven't learned their lesson, and they have to continue going through whatever it is they got to go through until they do learn it. Go run back to them. Go run back to, the people that you cheated on me for. Go run back to your family who is clearly, toxic and want to keep you stuck in that scenario. Go do all of that. You served your purpose. We are done. Cycle is over, and I'm moving on. And whether you move on with someone new or you just decide to be alone, which is perfectly fine, do your own thing, but do not let them back in. Going back to a narcissist is like taking off your underwear, taking a shower, and putting the same underwear back on. Don't do it, guys. Don't do it. Do not do it. In fact, I'm gonna have you put a picture of me in your bathroom too. Okay. Let's see. We'll go to we're gonna go to some comments here because I know you guys were okay. Skillful manipulators read my personality and then set up the whole emotional manipulative trap. Hamza, you gotta you know what? You have to what I would do, truthfully, I would just be very indifferent. Show it's something you gotta practice. It took me a while to practice it, but show no emotions. Just let no one affect you. Okay, don't let anyone affect you in any way, shape, or form. Read. You basically have to be a step ahead. You have to learn how to read people. That's another thing I tell you guys. Learn how to read people. Learn body language. I did a video on that too. Body language. Learn different types of body language. Open up your, you really have to open up your mind, because the moment you enter a room with someone, you're going to feel that something is off. You're just going to feel it. And one of the problems I had was is I ignored that. I ignored my intuition. My intuition told me something, but I'm just like, nah, that's just, me overthinking, because I was always told, Erica, you're an overthinker. You're overthinking things. Why are you overthinking things? You're always overthinking things. You're never overthinking things. Okay? If your gut is telling you something, it's telling you something for a reason. I don't believe there, a such thing as overthinking. I think overthinkers are the ones that people really worry about, because we really analyze and we really get down to the nitty gritty of it. And a lot of people don't like that, especially people who have something to hide. Sandra, they both shame. Yes, all narcs shame all their victims. Jason, my ex's dad is a narc, which is probably, if you dealt with a female narcissist, chances are her father neglected her, like really neglected her, and made her, because females, though they're more attached to the mothers, they crave that male attention, which is from their fathers. But if the father neglected the daughter emotionally and neglected the daughter on a physical level where they're not really connecting, they're just like, I'm here, I'm your dad, I'm providing a roof over your head. What freaking more do you want from me? Chances are the daughter will either be codependent, where she's looking for men to fill in the place of her father and she's looking for that connection, or she will be a narcissist and be extremely detached. And she will basically say, screw all you men, because my daddy was a Rolling Stone mentally and emotionally. So screw all you men, and I'm just going to use you all for what I can get. And I'm not going to get emotionally attached to you. So be very careful with that, please. Hamza, they got to know how I'm influenced. Then they set up the triggers to induce anxiety, fear, learned hopelessness, etc. I face those triggers on a daily basis. The skillful manipulators have recruited a workforce to keep me torturing physically, psychologically. Hamza, just out of curiosity, are these manipulators, like, is it a personal, like, friends or family, or within your workspace? Like, what kind of people? Because I hear the word recruited a workforce, and I'm thinking, is it like a professional thing, or is this just another way of saying flying monkeys? Just please clarify for me. Jason, I was the main carer for my kids. My ex was more interested in everything else. Yes, Jason. Female narcissists will abandon their children. And if it's not physically, they'll abandon their children emotionally and mentally. Okay? Female narcissists are pretty much like, listen, I have kids. Yeah, like they'll do things to pose for everybody else in the world. But the real deal is that they don't connect with their children because they don't want to, because it's just pretty much that big wall. And when it boils down to it, if you are with the female narcissist and you have kids together, chances are that responsibility is going to be mostly on you. It's going to be veered more towards you, and interestingly enough, because when it boiled down to me, when me and my son's father were together, I didn't have much time with my son because I worked nights, and during the daytime he would be in school. So it was kind of like a conflict, like I worked evenings, he's in school during the day. And it was, it was like this for years, but never has a day gone that my son would not know that mommy loves him. My son knows this every day. I make sure my son knows it every single day. And everything I ever do, everybody knows, and especially people who know me, I do everything for my son. So not everything as in his father doesn't do everything, but we work together to create that balanced environment for my son. But I'd give up any limbs that I needed to. I'd give up my heart for him if I had to. That's just the way I am. But female narcissists, they have this thing of, I'm unique, I don't want the responsibility. You're here, so why don't you just do it? It's your kid too, right? So why don't you just do it? And of course, they'll pass that on to you. Lauren, just went no contact with my narc mom and enabler dad. The memories are so painful. I'm starting to look back and think my dad is a narc too. just an insecure one. Could be, Lauren. It could be narcissists. I had done the video on it too, on inverted narcissists. And these are codependent narcissists. These are pretty much people who can only sustain relationships with other narcissists. So if he is, because he could be also just narcissistic. He could have like traits. So he can be a codependent and just have narcissistic traits. We have, you do have codependents with narc traits. But yeah, I mean, listen, I can understand if it's hard, like when it boils down to your family, you've grown up with them, going no contact can be pretty hard. It really can be. Excuse me. I have to stop drinking soda, guys. But at the end of the day, it's your mental health, it's your well-being, it's your peace, and even if you were the one who tried, like, because I'm pretty sure a lot of you who deal with narcissists in your family probably tried to make amends, probably tried to be like, listen, let's just cut this out. But of course they're not going to change. They're not going to change. I really wish I could say they will, but they won't. And sometimes they force your hand. Sometimes they force your hand and they push you to say, you know what? Forget it. I'd rather live in peace and harmony in my life than deal with people who take advantage of the fact that because we're related, they can say and do what they want. They can act belligerent, act disrespectful, act manipulative, because a lot of them use that family card, like, well, I'm your mother. So what I say, you need to be okay with that. You should be okay. No. If you're anything like me, I'm almost 40 years old. I rent my own place. I pay my own bills. I take care of my own son. That's what I do. So if you had to go no contact with your mom, I'm sure it's for good reason. Okay. And trust me, on this channel, you have no type of judgment whatsoever. Going no contact with a narcissist is the best thing to do. And I always encourage that for your mental health. If they want to make the first move, they want to take the first step, then they have to show you that they're willing to change, that they're willing to go for the help that they need. And until they do, then you have nothing to talk about. And that's just the way it needs to be. They smear your name, but this autistic guy fights back. That absolutely, Jason. That's exactly what I'm trying to teach my son. My son is going to be 14 years old. He's autistic. And I'm raising him to go into a world where there are females that are manipulative, that are abusive. Not all of you guys, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Females that are willing to use, abuse, and lie. And I'm sorry, mama bear don't play that. Okay? Maybe narcissist mothers, maybe extremely insecure mothers, they're okay. Or, or mothers that are, one thing I've learned about narcissist mothers, they will, in some cases, encourage their children to be in relationships with abusive people. They will encourage that because there's something in it for them. There is something in it for them, whether it be their child is going to be taking care of them, whether it's, they know that if a child is with someone who's toxic or abusive or what have you, that child is always going to come back home and they're going to tend to the mother. But a mother who encourages their children to be in abusive relationships or be in relationships with people that are clearly toxic, it's because there's something in it for them. And you know what, Jason, as a mother to an autistic child, let me tell you something. I give you props because I don't play that. I don't play that. I would not play that, especially when it boils down to my kid. Trust me, every time any kind of female that comes at my door, I'm grilling every single one of them. And I don't care. I do not care. Relax. I don't remember where I read this. So true. Without repentance, reconciliation is manipulation. Without changed behavior, apologies are abuse. Without restitution, unity and peace is insulting. You notice how without there, it makes no sense, right? So your comment makes sense, but thinking about it, and this all has to change. This all has to change. Do not leave room for them, guys. Listen, the devil does not come. People tend to think that, a narcissist is like I don't know, like a savage beast. Like, you know, the devil comes in the form of light, guys. The devil comes in the form of light. A narcissist, a female narcissist will come in a very pretty package. Okay? She will come in a very pretty package to appeal to you guys. She will come in a very just, you know what? I'm really loving this. I'm really digging this. I really like this. And the minute she sees that she can control you, because she has to study you. She has to watch you. She has to see what you're about to determine what her next move is going to be. She has to do all of these things, because if she feels that you're going to be too much of a challenge, you're going to be too much of a hassle to get control over you, or, you know, there's that fear of rejection. They fear rejection, guys. Just keep that in mind, okay? They fear rejection greatly. She might not do it. She might just be like, you know what? This isn't working for me. This isn't working for me. And she might just flip it around. Like if you notice certain things about her, and you know, you notice, like, you know, the little red flags, and you're trying to bring that to her attention, she might just flip it right then and there and be like, you're the one with the problem, not me. You're the one with the issues, not me. You're the one trying to control. She'll flip everything onto you guys. Be very careful with that. Be extremely careful. But they come in a package that you desire, okay? You pray to God, and let me tell you something. You think the devil doesn't try to answer your prayers? There's a reason why he can't read your mind. There's a reason why, guys. Awake. I agree in regards to the no sympathy stuff. I've had friends try and give me tragic updates about my ex-narc's life, expecting me to give a shit. Be careful with that, Awake. Be careful, because first of all, what are your friends doing giving you information about your ex? Now, if they're mutual friends, they're not your friends, honey. They're not your friends. Because if they're coming back to you, telling you all of this stuff, and they're supposed to be your friends, my friends already know what I've been through. Granted, I have a couple of mutual friends with my ex, but as long as they stay neutral, I really don't care. You know, I do what I do to help other people, and that's just the way it is. But if they're your friends, why are they coming back to you, telling you things about your ex? Why are they even looking at your ex? Now, if they are mutual friends, again, if they know the situation, why are they coming? They're not your friends, honey. Not if they're coming to you, telling you things. If they know what you guys have gone through and know that that could possibly trigger you or just piss you off. But why would they do that? Friends don't do that. If you sit there and say, I don't give a shit, that's her business. It is what it is. There should be no room for discussion. That's it. Conversation is over. Next subject. Be careful with that. Jason, I never had an apology. What's one of them? I wish I knew, sweetheart, because I don't know either. If anybody here has ever gotten an apology, a genuine one at that, please raise your hand. Women's warrior. No, they are Satan's children. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Narcs. Yep, Sandra. Narcs never apologize. Narcs thrive on forgiveness. Only forgive yourselves. Well, you know what's interesting? You can forgive them. You can forgive them. Okay. I forgave. Like I sent, you know, and I told you guys this before, and I'm adamantly sticking with it, guys. I don't know for sure if my ex was a narc, but he had very narcissistic traits and very narcissistic tendencies. And if I had to guess, he's an inverted narc. He's an inverted narcissist. He's a codependent narcissist, okay, who only maintains relationships, sustains relationships with other narcissists, okay? And being as I'm not a narcissist, that's why it didn't work out. But I do encourage forgiveness, but you forgive in your own time. You forgive in your own time when you're ready to. When you're ready to. Just don't. They actually, if you listen, you could tell them I forgive you. Doesn't mean I'm letting you back in my life, you know, and that's perfectly fine. You don't have to let them back in your life. But I think in my opinion, I think they thrive more off of you not forgiving them, you holding on to a grudge, you being angry and feeling hurt and being upset, because that gives them more energetic power. That gives them more of, like that sense of control. I think they more don't want you to forgive them. They want you to feel, the only time they want you to forgive them is when they're trying to hoover you back in, when they're trying to, get back into your good graces. And, whether it be 5 minutes, 5 months, or 5 years after a discard, their thing is, you're going to hold that against me. You're going to, like, really, like, this was the past, things have changed. You're still holding on to that. You're not holding on to it. You just haven't forgotten. They tend to think that, well, you forgave me. Yeah, I forgave you, but I didn't forget. Like, my memory is fresh as, fresh as a freaking carton of milk. Like, you're not going to sit here and tell me, yeah, you forgave me. I forgave you, but that's as far as it goes. You're forgiving them is for you, not for them. It's not for them. It's for you. It's for you, so it doesn't hold on to you. It doesn't chain you down anymore. Lauren, so true. They love to play victim after they get their karma. Yes, because now it's like, okay, they go through their crap, and then all of a sudden it's I can't believe this happened. What's going on? And because everything that they played you for, guys. Narcissists are people who like to play with the devil. Okay, they like to just they like to dilly dally with them. That's fine. Let them, because all this time, this whole illusion that was painted in front of them. Look at all these females. Look at all these dudes. Look at all this attention you're getting. Look at this. Look at that. But look, what do you need with this person when you can have all of this? All right, cool. Is that your final answer? Because me, I'm one. That's your final answer. I'm done. I walk away. When I went, when I was still in the addiction stage, guys, and I went to my ex, because my ex had thought some things about me. He thought a lot of shady things about me, and he didn't understand that I had proof. I always keep proof. He thought some really, really, some really bad things, to the point where it just had me feeling like, I hate saying like this, but I'm going to say it. I felt like a whore in my relationship. I felt like I was being looked at like I was a whore, because he thought that I was doing sneaky things behind his back. He thought I was, messing around. He thought all these things. And, it started off very, very early on in the relationship, but it was pretty much throughout the entire relationship. I was the victim of projection of trauma that was passed on to him. Okay. When I went to my ex, when he was going through the discard with me, and I told him, said it clear as day, I gave him a yellow envelope, like a stack this big, just real thick. And I gave it to him. This was proof. This was the proof that I had. And I gave it to him, and he looks at me, and I said, I'm going to walk away. But I'm going to walk away knowing that I gave you the truth and I was solid. Okay? How they deal with it from that point on, guys, no longer your concern. That's no longer your problem. And that's exactly what I did. Okay? You cannot be responsible for the trauma that other people have inflicted on them. You cannot be responsible for the issues that they internalize, that they keep on their back. Because narcissistic people, narcissists, hell, even sociopaths, they hold that weight on them. And they just look for somebody to dump it on. And you were somebody that they dumped it on. So you're not responsible for that. You're not responsible for it. You did your part. You did the best you could do. You loved them to the best of your ability. You put up with a lot of shit that a lot of other people would not have put up with. Okay? And it's unfortunate to say it that way, but it just goes to show what kind of heart you have. That's it. You're done. It's over. Get your behind into your healing stage. Go on that vacation. do what you got to do and get yourself back together, heal yourself up, fix yourself up, fix yourself up, and you're going to be good. Trust me. You're going to be really good. They play nice around certain people, like butter wouldn't melt in them. Yeah, they do. They do. They have an image to maintain. We must stop putting others ahead of the self. Yes, women's warrior. Absolutely. Absolutely. I have had 4 years therapy, and Jason, that's perfectly fine, honey. You can continue going to therapy. There's nothing wrong with therapy. If anything, a lot more people need to go to therapy. And I'm not just talking about people of narcissistic abuse. A lot of people need to go to therapy just to, it's a very healthy thing to do. Therapy is healthy, guys. There's nothing wrong with going to therapy. You know, going to therapy is just pretty much a way of venting, letting it out. Don't let people tell you, oh my God, you're still going to therapy. Oh my God, you're still going to therapy. So what? Maybe if you went to therapy, you wouldn't be sitting here worried about if I'm still going to therapy. You know, a lot more people, I'm telling you, man, we would have a lot more healthier environments with so many other people if people actually took the time to just sit down and speak to a professional, because so many people are subconsciously holding in trauma. They are holding in trauma, don't even realize it. Did you realize the kind of trauma you were holding in until you met a narcissist? I mean, think about it. If I had to choose between dealing with a narcissist and going to a therapist to figure out my trauma, I'll pay the $100 an hour and I'll go to a damn therapist. There's nothing wrong with that, Jason. You continue doing it. Hello Kitty. My narc left me for a female with 5 kids. He sees them as supply because she's on Section 8 and gets child support and food stamps. Narcissists definitely use people for their resources. They definitely do that. If they feel that it would be more feasible for them, if they feel that the other person maybe has more, you know, in a sense of like in their mind, they perceive that they have more than you do, they will do that. I dated someone that was like that. And he was very, this was years ago. He was a somatic narcissist. He was using women for what he could get out of them. He used his ex for a place to stay. He used me to, like, you know, buy stuff throughout the relationship. He used a lot of different people. And he was bouncing around. He did not like, and that's another thing, guys. Narcissists are not the kind of people that will leave you for themselves. I'm just leaving you to be alone, to be by myself. They leave you for other people. Okay? They leave you because they think, you know, they're always constantly looking for something better. They're always constantly looking for, you know, for something. So when they feel that the relationship has run its course in their mind, and it's pretty much, you know, either, well, again, this is one of two ways. Either one, they are bored with the relationship and they think they found better, or two, they have an idea in their mind that you're about to discard them, that you're going to abandon them. And since they are the ones that have to leave you first, they're going to run the discard on you. I'm to the magnificent. I'm to the point where they're all snakes in the grass. The grass is cut low. I see you. Exactly. Can we please stop claiming? Yes, we can stop claiming these narcs. We can stop claiming them. Well, I stopped claiming a long time ago. But you know something? We need to get more people on the boat, magnificent. We got to get more people on the boat before we take off. All right. So try to get as many people as you can on the cruise so we can go on this damn trip all the way to the other side of the world and relax and forget it all. If you try to make new friends or start a new relationship, they interfere and smear. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They get very jealous because if you're actually happy, they see that, you know, you're happy with someone else. They see that connection that you have with someone else. Naturally, you would think, well, you see that you were the problem and it wasn't me, because I can have a happy relationship with someone else. I can sustain a happy relationship with someone else. So clearly it was you. But naturally, they won't do that. They won't do that. So I think, like, when it boiled down to me, I mean, listen, I really don't care anymore. But when it boiled down to me, one of the reasons why, you know, and I'm not putting all the blame on his ex because, you know, he played his role too. But I think what boiled down to me was they just had like this. that trauma bond was so severe between the two of them. They actually thought that what they had was a friendship. Like, I'm not calling my ex dumb or stupid or anything like that, but in my opinion, he just reminds me of a guy that, like, he felt hard for her. You know, he felt really hard for her, and it was just something where, because you guys know what I mean. A lot of you gentlemen know what I mean, where you fallen for someone and it's just like part of you felt like you couldn't let it go because it was like whatever happened between the two of you was so devastating. It's like part of you wants to let go, but the other part of you is telling you you can't let go. And I think that when I looked at their friendship, that wasn't a friendship. That was a traumatic bond. That was that succubus bond. And for a split second, I really thought he was happy with me. I mean, I thought he was really like finally opening up, finally being free to be himself, finally being able to, just be, feel a good kind of feeling. I wouldn't be surprised if she was throwing negative energy at us or his mother. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if the two of them, his mother and his ex, were in cahoots and they were both like, nah, we can't have this. One can't lose her meal ticket and the other one can't lose the man that she's been able to control for the past 18 years. Who knows? Hold on. Hamza, recruited workforce is my family, and wherever I go on a daily basis, these people have needs and their needs are being met. Okay, so it's pretty much the flying monkeys. Well, Hamza, I'm gonna tell you something. You need to come to terms with the fact that you're a scapegoat. Number one, okay, you're a scapegoat, and you got to turn that around to be a black sheep. And what a black sheep is pretty much the one who stands up for themselves and does not back down. Does not back down. So, at the risk of possibly being maybe kicked out. I don't know what word to use for it. At the risk of being exiled. There you go. Exiled from your family. If it's unhealthy, it's unhealthy. Okay. And a black sheep is pretty much that's the rogue of the family. That's the one who's like, yo, I see the bullshit. I'm not dealing with it. I don't care. It is what it is. They want you to feed into that. And you have to draw the line. You got to, dealing with manipulators, you have to set sturdy boundaries. You need boundaries. If you don't have boundaries, they're going to continue doing it. They're going to continue doing it over and over again. And you basically have to just cut it off completely. Yanni's awakening. I gave my closure to this narcissist and spoke my truth and wished her the best. I didn't get closure from her and never heard from her since. You won't, honey. You won't. The only time, when you're going to hear from her again, probably, maybe sometime in the future, when some time has gone by and she thinks that you're over it. She thinks that you've forgotten about it. And she's like, okay, maybe he's not thinking about it. And you know what? She's not just going to full force, like full blown go in. She's going to be like, she's going to test the water. They're going to test the water with you. So the only thing I can tell you is set the stage for your own closure. Okay? How they treated you, that's your closure. That disrespect, everything that happened throughout your relationship, the disrespect, the gaslighting, the manipulation, the lying, you name it, everything, that was your closure. You have to take that and just close the door, lock it, and throw the key as far off the bridge as you can and just leave it at that. Leave it at that and leave it in the hands of God. That's it. That's all we can do, hon. Women's warrior, we are a game to them and they like to play with us. And that's when you stop playing. When you stop playing, the most they can do, women's warrior, honestly. I mean, I don't know if you're really familiar with my channel, but the most they could do is sit there with their thumb up their ass. Because it takes at least two people to play a game. And when they see that you are, I forfeit games. We're not doing that. I'm too damn old to be playing games with anybody. And that's what they look for you to do. They want you to, hi for justice, hi sweetheart. They want you to do that. They want you to continue playing. They want you to continue reacting. They want you to continue going, like playing into it, because it feeds them. It feeds them. It gives them that fuel. They're running on your attention. But the minute you pull that attention away, let me explain something to you guys. Your attention, the relationship, everything you did for them is not second best. Yours was not second best. It was just, you know, something. They got a little attention here. They got a little attention there. Okay. Oh, so that's how you do. That's how you do. Okay. But you know what? Your attention was genuine. It was genuine. For those who were in the relationship with people, your attention was genuine. Your intentions were genuine. The people that are feeding into them are people who just came into the picture. These are people who are falling for the facade that they are posing for them. This is why they come back for you, because they know that you work so hard to be in a relationship with them. You have done all of this for them. And all these people who are giving them that superficial, artificial attention are people who are feeding an image that they are putting out there. When you know them in and out, you know them in and out. These people don't know them. These people are just sitting there looking at pictures, looking at a lifestyle that's not real. Looking at them like, oh, well, this person's so handsome. This person's so beautiful. Oh, she goes all over the world. Oh, she buys expensive clothes. Oh, she does this. It's a bunch of bullshit. And you're sitting there saying to yourself, do these people even know who the hell you are? Do these people even know that what you're putting up right now, that this is bullshit? No, they don't know. They don't know. And that's one of the reasons why they still try to hold on to you, because they know that you loved them in spite of so many things. They're not sure if this other supply that's giving them attention and giving them, you know, all kinds of praise and stuff, they're not sure that they're going to do that for them. That's why they try to keep you around. That's why they try to keep that cord connected to you. Though they keep you at an arm's distance, you know, they keep you at arm's length, but they keep you there because they know for a fact that if that doesn't work out for them, they need you. And if you decide to cut the cord, they're going to end up doing a few things. They're either going to end up going to another ex, trying to find, you know, scramble up another ex that they got in their harem, or they're going to just try to like feed off of whatever little supply they can get, even if it's random multiple people, which are the ones that bed hop. They run, you know, hop around, sleeping around with different people, doing whatever. Or if they ain't got shit, they go into narcissistic collapse, because not only did they lose you, not only, you know, do they not have a backup plan for that, not only is this not filling them up, but now it's like, oh shit, they're basically stuck in a padded room and don't know where to go, what to do. They go through narcissistic collapse, and that's the depression stage. Depression for a narcissist. Hi, Butch. Well, listen, you know what? Like I said, I told Magnificent, let's get this boat. We'll go on a cruise. We'll go on a narc-free cruise, and we'll go, you know, we'll just tell the captain to surprise us. We don't even have to pick an island. Just surprise us. That's all. That's actually not a bad idea, guys. That really is not a bad idea, to do like a cruise, just, you know, and have like a big sign that says narc free, and then everybody can wear their little name tags, and they'll say how long, you know, 3 years narc free, 10 years narc free. Not a bad idea. See, we keep coming up with the good ideas. Yannis, since no contact in July, this person is looking at my social media. I'm not surprised about that. I can tell because it shows people who aren't my friends in social media is looking at my Facebook stories. And you know what's funny? I get that too sometimes on my my Instagram. I get that too. Man, you know, you have people that you're not even following, you're not even talking to, and you don't even know them. And you're like, who the hell is this? You know, these people looking at my Instagram stories. Oh, some of them are fake pages. That's to be expected. So definitely pay no mind to it. you know, but you know, don't let it intimidate you. Don't let it make you feel like you can't do what you want to do with yourself or restrict you. You know, that's who they are. That's how they're always going to be. Mario, people have preconceived notions of what therapy is. I'm currently seeing one doing wonders for me. Absolutely. Absolutely. Therapy is good. Therapy is a good idea, guys. I'm telling you. Don't feel bad for wanting to feed your brain food. You know what I'm saying? Don't feel bad for that. Don't feel bad at all for it. Therapy will help you realize what your issues are, and it'll help you, you know, transform. It helps you in the transformation process. So don't feel bad for doing it at all. Heather, it's so weird looking back on the relationship after a year. Feels like it was just a nightmare. And you know what? Over time, Heather, remember I told you, over time, you're going to, you're getting through it. You're getting through it. You're getting through those stages. It's going to be nothing but a mere memory. It's going to be like, you know, like 5 years from now, you'll be like, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot I even went through that. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to be filling your life up with so many people that are more healthy for you. And you're going to be setting up so many different boundaries. You're going to be creating your own life, your healthy lifestyle for yourself. That is just going to be a very distant memory. That's all it's going to be. And if ever you were to, like, you know, cross each other and it does not affect you at all, it doesn't, you're just like, okay, what you guys are going to be is just two strangers with a memory. That's it. That's it. And that would, you know what? I truthfully think that's like a great feeling. That truthfully is a great feeling. Yes, they do follow your social media. Women's Warrior, trust me, my ex knew that my love was real, but he's out here looking stupid trying to find another me. And you know something, he's and you should be flattered. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, trying to find another you, trying to find you in other people, you know. And now that you've gone through what you went through, it's God's putting you on reserve, you know, because you've learned your lesson, you went through the motions, now you're getting on with it. Now you are going to set your life to, you know, to receive. Now your life is going to be to receive. Start receiving the healthier things, start receiving the things you deserve, start receiving the things that are going to benefit you in life. Let's see, for Justice, he told me he's looked at mine, flipped out when he saw it. Justice, let him. You know what? With everything that you have, you know, shared with me, I'm going to tell you something. At the end of the day, he does not own you. He does not own you. Okay. He wants to play his games. Let him play his games. Listen, you guys are independent contractors. Okay. You don't file W-2s. You file 1099s. You're independent contractors. You do not answer to anybody. Don't answer to these people who couldn't even respect you, who couldn't even take into consideration the kind of person you are. No. And they want to look, you know what? He wants to mentally torture himself. Let him mentally torture himself. That's his problem. What is he doing looking? You go and you doing all this stupid crap, but then you want to go looking on my social media and you want to start looking through my stuff, and then you want to get mad at me? Nah, man, listen. For Justice, you know what I would tell him. Well, I better get my Narc Buster shirt on what's going on with that. And how's everybody? Sorry, everybody. Well, yes, but me and Amanda are still working on it. It's been kind of hectic these past couple of weeks, you know, especially with the snowstorms we've been having. We've been having several. I don't even know what the heck is going on with Mother Nature, but we've had quite a few snowstorms. But I'm still in the works with that. I'm just trying to figure out a company that I want to use to make them. If you guys know any companies that makes graphic designs on T-shirts, let me know, please. You're welcome, Justice. You're welcome. Remember, I told you nobody gets left behind. Okay. Women's Warrior, they like to play the victim. Once you get up and move on, then they play like you hurt them and you did them wrong. Of course. How dare you be happy without me? How dare you be with someone else? You told me it was forever. Bro, you told me it was forever. What are you talking about? And you know what? At the end of the day, they didn't respect you enough. You know, they didn't want to, guys, they didn't want to take the responsibilities that relationships, you know, have. They really didn't. They really didn't want to take. I'm like so completely forgetting that I'm also logged on Facebook, guys. And I gotta make sure that I read but no, they had no intention on taking you seriously. They just intended on, you know, listen, they're the, you know, well, why do we have to think about the future? Why do we have to consider this? Why can't we just go with the flow? Why can't we just do this? Why? Because they have no intention on being with you. They have like a plan, I guess, or a set time frame. And it's like, so you picked January 23rd to be the day to do the discard because that's your expiration date. Narcissists have expiration dates. And you know, it's either they can run you ragged and they can, you know, hurt you as much as possible, push your buttons as much as possible, and see how far they can take it with you. And when they see that you're not going anywhere and they see that you're not doing anything about it, and it's like no matter what they do, it still hasn't pushed you away, then what happens? They get bored. They get bored because now it's no longer exciting. It's no longer exciting for you to be that rag doll. It's no longer exciting for you to be that punching bag. It's just become boring for them. So they move on to the next thing. Or you started seeing through their bullshit. You started noticing certain things. You're telling them about themselves. They don't like it. And at the end of the day, you're starting to stand up for yourself. You're starting to ask the right questions. And what happens? They think that you're going to leave them. Mario, it's Intuitive Vibes, Narcissist Bible 101. It's on it's actually also on my YouTube. So you can like if you go to another video, it's at the bottom. The link is at the bottom. But because you know you decided to ask the right questions, you decided to do something out of the ordinary. They're like, wait a minute, I don't know. They're starting to act a little shifty, or they're starting to notice certain things, or they're trying to communicate with me. They're trying to sit down and have a talk with me. They're trying to express their feelings to me. They're trying to, you know, point out my bullshit. I don't know how much longer I can hold this up. They're gonna end up leaving me. What do? That fear of abandonment kicks in. They got to get rid of you before you get rid of them. And that's when they discard you. It's their MO, guys. It's their MO. It's what they do. Unfortunately, it's what they've been trained to do. It's what they've been doing for so many years. And you had nothing to do with it. So please do not take it in. Please do not take it in as your problem. Don't take it in as your fault, because it was not your fault. I'm sure you had your role. I'm sure you played your part. I'm sure you had things that, you know, that you have done. You take accountability for it. But nobody deserves that abuse. I don't give a damn who it was. Nobody deserved it. But that's so amazing that you even say that. I was just telling my cousin that I stayed in a relationship past the expiration date. Please do not do that to yourself. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, guys. Don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to yourself. Listen, you want to do something past the expiration date? Leave your milk out on your counter for about a good 3 to 4 months, right? And then drink that. I bet you won't drink it again, right? Don't deal with the narcissist, guys. Don't. Let them go. Let them go. Start your healing. And like I said, maybe we can all meet up at the same dock, get on a cruise, and just set sail. And we'll call it the Narc free cruise. That does actually sound like a good idea. I'm just saying. So maybe when the whole pandemic thing, you know, squares out, everything kind of calms down, we should do that. We should all get together. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you for putting Amanda put up the links, guys. So if you guys wanna follow YouTube. You guys already know how I do my videos, I do my community posts. Facebook, I post up some videos. I try to also, now I'm sharing the lives on Facebook along with YouTube. And my Instagram is a mix of both. It's a mix of my own personal stuff, but it's also mini videos, giving advice, things like that, and just sharing things with people, because not everybody has a YouTube, so I try to help people out on Instagram as well. And but if you guys want to follow me, you definitely can do that on there. Oh, guys, so I am so glad that you all came out. I'm so glad to see that that so many more people are interacting. You guys are awesome. I really, really appreciate it. Women's Warrior, I'm trying to set up meetups for survivors and people dealing with narcissists. And that's actually a really good idea. That is a really good idea. I like that idea, to set up meetups for survivors, and that's and be support groups to one another. That's actually a great idea. I like that. I really do like that a lot. I try to do the best I can with the live chats, because with the pandemic and everything, and just reaching out to everybody during the weeks, just to peek my head in and see how you guys are doing, and give me your progress. And yeah, no, definitely. And but Women's Warrior, that's really, I like that idea too. I like that idea, because there are so many victims, and it's not just women, guys, it's men. We got men that have been abused, narcissistic abuse, and it takes its toll on both sexes, guys. It really, really does. So it would be kind of like okay, sorry, put my phone on my computer. It would kind of be like a retreat, right? Like a retreat, meet up, maybe go like to I don't know, like maybe a camping or something like that, something similar to that. Do like retreats, and meet up with different people, learn different stories, have different testimonies, be a support group, be a support system for people. That's actually a really good idea. I really like that. I like that a lot. I definitely would consider that. I really would. But guys, meet and greets. Yes, meet and greets, guys. Meet and greets. I would love to do that. So we should definitely Women's Warrior, I definitely, yes, absolutely. I'm gonna put my email in the comment, in the description box below, so you can shoot me an email. But I really do like that idea. I really do. I mean, I know there are plenty of people all over the place, but maybe we can meet different people halfway, and just help as many as we possibly can. That's the goal. That's the goal, guys. So guys, thank you so much, so much for being here with me tonight. Thank you for being patient. Thank you for being just for being here, guys. I don't know if you noticed. Yes, I touched up my hair. Now I'm really looking like fire. I touched up, I always have like my dark roots and stuff, and I added some magenta to my hair, and it made it really, really light. So I look like a big ball of fire right now, but I love it. I love it. So, that's what matters the most. As long as we love how we look and we appreciate ourselves, right? But thank you so much, guys, for being here. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for speaking up. Thank you for being nice to one another too. You guys know how I am. I love to have this whole family vibe going on. Thank you for Amanda. Thank you for Justice. Thank you. Yeah, I bleached it, and let's just say that a lot of hair came out. But all right, Heather, definitely send me pictures. But it was worth it. It was worth it for me. I love it. I love how it came out. I love the color, and everything is everything's working out. Everything is working in God's favor, in my favor, thanks to God. So can't complain about anything, right, guys? So guys, thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Okay, enjoy your weekend. Remember, peace is priority. keep your peace on lock. Leave no room for them. Keep doing what you got to do. You know, we're going to be back here next week. So hopefully, I mean, I know it's only a few days, but you know, a lot can happen in a few days. So hopefully we keep our spirits up and we keep it going. All right, guys. Thank you, my lovelies, for being here. For justice, yes. I might do like the fish braids. You never know. You never know. Jason, thank you, sweetheart. So, guys, I will see you, hopefully, all of you, next week, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going back to our normal schedule. But I definitely love today's live. I loved being able to speak with each and every one of you. For those who could not make it, you can catch it on the stream. It's going to be streaming on YouTube and on Facebook. So if there are any questions or any concerns, whatever the case may be, leave me a comment in the comment section. If you'd like to reach out to me, please send me an email. My email will be in the description box below as well, or you can DM me on Instagram. And of course, we all know DMs are for, serious inquiries, okay? But you can DM me if you just need someone to talk to, you need someone to, you need an ear, you need some advice, whatever the case may be. I'm here for you guys. All right. So I hope you all have a great weekend, guys. Thank you for being here with me. I love you all. Wish you all the best, all that good stuff. You know how it goes. I don't want to get too mushy with you guys. Have a great weekend, guys. I'll see you on Tuesday. Mwah. Love you all. Bye.